MTA versus Foamers, the ultimate showdown. MTA slaps a sticker. Service corrected. Foamers slap back. Orange Q lives. Strap hanger. What? Bullets fired. Chaos ensues. MTA versus Foamers. Who will win? Subscribe to find out. This series is about finding old train designations called bullets on system signage where those bullets don't belong anymore because they were fired by the MTA. Then I put the signs into historical context. That being said, today we're going to start with Van Wyck 24's idea here at 4th Avenue Pacific Street. We got a little sign here that's had some minor vandalism done to it. So you can see the D, and then there was an N sticker over the brown M, and then an R sticker over the N, and then the R. It feels like it might be original signage. And if we peek over the edge here, we find something pretty interesting. It looks like this part of the sign was simply patched over entirely with black tape and somebody just peeled it all off. Well, almost all of it. As for dating this sign, we know it's pre-2009 because it says Atlantic Avenue Pacific Street rather than Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center. But let's get more precise by using the bullets and grouping. The D, M, N, and R bullets are all grouped together, so we know they all traveled south from here via the 4th Avenue line. The D is not grouped with the B and Q over here. So this sign was almost certainly installed in 2004 when full service was restored across the Manhattan Bridge and D service was taken off the Brighton line and routed to Coney Island via the West End line. That makes this sign only 21 years old. The fact that there is a sign down here tells me this weird little roof thingy has not always been here, because customers would enter and be able to see where they were going. The earliest Google Maps image available is from June 2009, and it's there, so this roof had to have been installed between 2004 and 2009. For reference, this is what the sign should look like in current year 2025. Omni Smack for Cerulean Shep! Thank you for becoming a Patreon sponsor! There's definitely a sticker over the Q there, and a sticker over the NR. OmniSmack, AC Transport, and SG5573T. Thank you for joining the Patreon. Thank you. OmniSmack, Chris A for awesome, very awesome of you to join the Patreon. Okay, what I'm looking for should be right here on this zebra board on the Manhattan. Yep. What is this G bullet doing way out here at Parsons? Almost the last stop in Queens on the F line. Well, let me tell you. We all know the G train terminates at Court Square in Queens. So what the heck? There was never a daytime service that ran the G all the way to Jamaica 179th Street. But on September 30th, 1990, G service was extended to 179th Street during late nights to replace the R, which terminated at 36th Street in Brooklyn. So this little indicator right here on this conductor board will be exactly 35 years old this month. But this series is called Fired Bullets. So when was the G fired from the Parsons Boulevard station? August 30th, 1997. That's when late night G service was permanently cut back from 179th Street to Court Square. Why did I just say late night like that? Well, I am not done talking about the G. Grand Avenue, Newtown. XL9 told me about this little G train sticker here under the staircase in the middle of the Queensbound track. I think this is actually what XL9 was talking about. But more interestingly, I found this as well. Grand Avenue, G and the V to Forest Hills. A lot of you already know that the G used to terminate at Forest Hills 71st Ave. That's 4 stops east of here toward Jamaica. So the G stopped here on the way to its terminus. And the G had been stopping here even since its label was changed from GG to just G back in 1985. G service between Court Square and Forest Hills 71st Ave didn't end until 2010. And since the G shares this column sign with a V, this particular sign had to have been installed around 2001, 24 years ago. Speaking of the V... Okay, I've had enough talking about the G, but there is one more thing I wanted to see. Let's go to Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue to finish this story. In 2001, the MTA hired a brand new bullet that muscled in on the OG's turf, the V. We've been over the V, but Gustavo Garcia on Patreon shared this r/NYC rail post. So here at Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue, there are signs that have it all. See the R there, and then the G under this R, and then the V under this M. So this one big sticker is covering everything. There's a constant battle between MTA and I guess sign vandals. But anyway, it looks like the MTA won this round, and it seems like they've actually started using higher quality stickers, because this is like a full sticker and you can't even see anything that used to be under it. But let's go ahead and finish the story anyway. Between 2001 and 2010, the E, F, G, R, and V all used the Queens Boulevard line, and on weekday evenings, all of them were running, clogging up the Queens Boulevard line big time. But riders literally protested to keep the G going to Forest Hills when the MTA wanted to cut it back to Court Square. So the MTA did a shadow ban on the G, often just terminating the G at Court Square anyway and claiming track maintenance as the reason. We've all been there. But the Queens turf war between the G and the V ended in 2010 when, because of major budget shortfalls, G service was cut back to Court Square anyway, and the V train was completely fired and absorbed into the M. Okay, I think we pretty much covered how the G was fired east of Court Square. Let's get to Manhattan. Okay, so for this station, we're looking for one of those NYCT signal LED boxes. So if I'm correct, it's on the other side of one of these. And there it is. Very smally, but it's there. Looks like I could have just put a sticker on this ticker just so I could talk about the yellow D, but check this out. So you can see this D is a sticker on the outside of this lamination, but this yellow B is under the lamination. It's the same thing with this, except opposite. This B is over the lamination. The D is under the lamination. So let's do this. April 26, 1986. Yes, we're back to construction on the Manhattan Bridge, where it split the D into two parts. The orange D bullet ran between Norwood 205 and 34th Street Herald Square. Meanwhile, this yellow D started at 57th Street 7th Ave and ran express via the Broadway line, as indicated by the yellow bullet color, crossed the south tracks of the Manhattan Bridge because the north tracks were closed, and traveled via the Brighton line to Coney Island. Wait. That doesn't make sense. I'm at 7th Avenue, which is an extension of the 6th Avenue line, the orange line, but the yellow D started at 57th Street 7th Avenue on the Broadway line. That's why it's yellow. These stations are close to one another, but there's no in-system transfer between them. So if the yellow D and the yellow B never stopped here, why are these stickers here? Really seems like either a troll, but it's a very old troll because of the lamination, more likely a mistake. Or maybe whoever did this just had yellow stickers and not orange stickers. I don't know, but this is incorrect because the yellow B and D never stopped here. Anyway, subway under the bridge. Yellow D service only lasted from 1986 to 1988, so that means this weird red LED display these stickers are on had to have been here during the 1986 Manhattan Bridge North Tracks closure. So these stickers are probably 39 years old, but might have been put here after that. I would love to know exactly when these LED ticker dinosaurs were installed, but it's still going strong almost 40 years later. Meanwhile, the yellow D was fired 37 years ago. Thanks to Gustavo Garcia on Patreon for clarifying the location via this r/NYC rail share. Okay, now let's go to 34th Street Herald Square. So thanks to Poker Gamer for pointing to another orange Q. We've hit up the orange Q a couple of times, but this is a wayfinding sign right here in a primary in-system passage, so I thought I'd give it a look. Like I said in the first Subway Archaeology video, that bullet was only used between 1988 and 2001. This sign is super weird because it's not really visible from the escalators as you come up. So you can see the shiny D, F, and Q bullets of the original signage, but the outline of another B is under this B. The yellow B and the orange Q didn't exist at the same times, not to mention this escalator leads to the 6th Avenue line, not the Broadway line. I don't know, maybe somebody peeled a sticker that was protecting the deep orange color of everything and left this part over the B? Also fun, on the primary sign you can see where this M is a sticker probably covering an orange Q. There is some residue on that orange Q, so clearly somebody has removed a sticker from it. And that sticker almost certainly said M. So this sign is probably 37 years old. I think I figured out where the weirdness with the escalators originated. So you see this, the downtown side has the sign hanging there normally, and the escalators terminate really near it. But if we walk backwards, straight, these escalators terminate there. But the sign is in the same place as the proper sign on the downtown side. So I'm guessing when they installed the escalators, they hung the signs first, and then they installed the escalators? Classic MTA if that's the case, I don't know. But the back of the downtown side doesn't have any sign at all. You can see the sign up here is just an addition. They slapped a sign over a sign to get it right. Know what? It's a nice day. Let's go for a walk. Neat, never been in this entrance before. When there are subway changes, wayfinding signs and connecting systems are often slow to catch up. So that's why I thought I could find the 9 bullet mentioned here on track 13 at Penn Station, but I didn't find it here. But I did find one outside the entrance here. Maybe this is what he was talking about. It's covered by a sticker now. MTA got him. We covered the 9 train in the first Subway Archaeology video. Between 1989 and 2005, the 9 train interlined with the 1 train from South Ferry to Van Cortlandt Park, 242nd Street in the Bronx. Man, oh, found it. So this signage was installed 36 years ago probably. Bright, shiny 9 right outside the tracks 18 and 19. Penn Station is massive. So it's no surprise they just slap stickers over these signs to cover the 9. Nice shiny new 9, protected by the sticker that was covering it until it wasn't. Omni smack for longtime Patreon supporter Kev C. Thanks for your continuing support. Let's end this series strong with a fun little find at the periphery of the subway system in the Bronx. All right, here we are at the northernmost subway station, the entire subway system. And the fired bullet we're looking for should be right inside here. Huh, not there. Must be here. Welcome to the world of Diamond 5. I know what you're saying. We've already been over the Diamond 5. What, you think the Brooklyn Diamond 5 is the same as the Bronx Diamond 5? Allow me to enlighten you. First of all, the 5 doesn't even terminate at Wakefield 241st Street anymore. But it used to, so let's start from there. The rush hour Diamond 5 was cut back from 241st Street Wakefield to Nereid Avenue in spring of 1995 because 241st Street just didn't have the capacity to handle all those rush hour trains. So the Diamond 5 was officially fired from Wakefield 241st Street 30 years ago. But this sign had to have been installed before the Diamond 5 was fired, obviously. So when did the 5 start serving that station? Well, in the historical context of the forest green bullet on this sign, the Diamond 5 had served Wakefield 241st Street since the 5 became green in 1979. So this wayfinding sign is between 30 and 46 years old. Since this is sort of a connecting station on the periphery of the subway system, it's not really possible to know exactly when it was installed. They could have just slapped it up much later. That sign across the street there has an outline of where the Diamond 5 used to be. Kind of funny. Strangely, it looks like they used a sticker to correct the number of blocks away the subway is. I'm assuming it used to say 6 blocks like it currently does at 241st Street subway station. Gustavo Garcia, yet again, shared this with me, and I had to give it a look. So you see, good sir, the Diamond 5 in the Bronx and the Diamond 5 in Brooklyn are 2 completely different bullets. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So that's it for Fired Bullets. The series is going on hiatus for a while. I will release probably a compilation much later in the year. Soon I'll do a Subway Archaeology update video. For example, mid-20th century NYC historian on Instagram pointed out that these route indicators at DeKalb Avenue from Subway Archaeology Part 4 were in fact fact, installed in 1967. Wild. Instagram and TikTok have been a great resource for refining my initial conclusions on the age of some of these signs, so feel free to follow me there and contribute. But man, did we end this series strong. Leave your car at home. Go to all 4 boroughs, ride all the trains, and find all the fired bullets. I've showed you where they are.